Cast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is not my boys, but stay with me. I have Nicole Ellis.
Hello, Katie.
You often don't hear her on here, but she is behind the scenes on our wonderful outlines. And we have not Court Winsett, but we have Estelle Winsett. What? There's another Winsett on the... I mean, we've had Keiki. We've had Byron. We've had Court. We have not had Robin. We've mentioned her several times, but now we have Estelle. Okay, you've got to tell our listeners, how are you connected to Court?
So Court is my brother-in-law. I am married to Byron Winsett, who is now working at the Pickler firm. Mm-hmm. And so I've just known them. Gosh, we've been married 22 years. I'm trying to think. Byron will kill me, but I always just add 1 year to Braxton. So yeah, 22 years.
Okay.
So, known them a long time.
Very, very cool. We're excited to have you on, and Nicole, excited to have you on the podcast today.
Glad to be here.
So we're diving into something a little different. We're calling this episode Styling the Working Women with Estelle. What we're going to do is talk about style. I will tell you guys, I am very embarrassed. I am a style person. I love dressing up, love looking my best. But as you know from the episode, I am a mother of twins and sleep is not happening right now. So it was kind of survival mode this morning. I looked at my calendar and went, oh, I have no in-person meetings. Let's just throw something on real quick. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting with Estelle.
No, you're
Goodness
fine.
gracious. But so we are thrilled to have you on the podcast.
Thanks.
Former attorney turned style expert, image consultant. But if first we've got to go into our list. Estelle, we're going to go through this quick little list here. This is going to be the best dressed female film characters. And, definitely I think as we go through this, there's going to be others that come to mind. But we'll just kind of quickly round robin this, everyone rattle it off, and then we'll get into you and your story.
Great. So the purpose of this is I'm just supposed to throw out best dressed names.
Yeah, so we're just going to list these different characters, go through, and if you have any opinions on them.
Okay, got it.
So I'll start the first one, Miranda Priestley, The Devil Wears Prada.
Absolutely, hands down.
I mean, she's just so classy. I love how she walks in and throws her stuff on Anne Hathaway's desk and moves on.
Yeah,
Yes.
There's no question who's in charge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I actually got to see The Devil Wears Prada in London on the West End, and it was Vanessa Williams.
Oh, nice.
That's
She
fabulous.
owned the place as well.
That's awesome.
But second on the list, Holly Golightly from Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes.
I watched this movie for the first time when I was about 17, and it's a great movie if you've never seen it, and she's just an icon. Audrey Hepburn is everything.
Well, what we were talking about offline was that even if you haven't seen this movie, those photos are everywhere and they're timeless. So obviously Audrey Hepburn, I think that section of all the stores when girls are like coming of age and wanting to have their fun fashion, it was Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe photos and then the old Vogue photos.
Oh, yeah.
So those were the icons for sure.
Definitely. And she's just so timeless. It's the kind of style that really when I'm working with clients, sometimes I ask them who their style icons are and I get Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's the kind of thing that never goes out of style. So,
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the next one on the list? If you want to pick, you can pick one of them.
Cher from Clueless.
Yeah. I often reference Cher's closet. I
Same.
absolutely wish I had that closet. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Because that's my issue sometimes. I have all these pieces and it's how do you put them together, especially like in the rush, you're like, oh, I gotta get ready. And you're kind of go, okay, I have this, I have that. How does it work together? And I wish we had that computer system where it's like, let's do this. Of course, she put some of them like, girl, that does not match. Why are you trusting the computer system?
You know what? With AI, you might get it one day.
Oh, I'm sure. And I think they already have some stuff.
I love it so much that I have my own version of that I have for my clients. So everyone gets their own online closet and an app on their phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hurry and
Big
get through this
influence.
list so we can hear more about this.
Love it.
So we've got Scarlett O'Hara, of course, Gone with the Wind. Scarlett's
Quintessential
attire is
Southern.
great.
Yes.
Although I do have to throw out, it was Carol Burnett that made a skit off of Scarlett O'Hara and had the coat rods, or what was it? The curtain
shoulder
rod.
pads.
Yes, for the shoulder pads.
Totally.
As the only non-blonde at the table, I'll take the next one. It's Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. All of the pink.
Yes.
We love pink here.
Yep.
It's great fashion, even in the courtroom.
Yes.
I hear that a lot. It's interesting because I hear attorneys say that came up maybe a little bit behind me that she was actually kind of an influence on them in a lot of ways, which is interesting. And I think it's really more about yes, you can ingest to how she was very much over the top, but at the same time, like she was who she was, and that authenticity is what people really seek. So
Yeah, and that she could be professional in the courtroom, but still had her little style. I love it.
right.
Okay, then our next one.
Pretty Woman, Vivian Ward. All right, so who doesn't quote the huge mistake? Big, huge, when they were so snotty to her in the store. I mean, who's been in that situation?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can totally relate to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely a movie I quote all the time. Slippery Little Suckers and pushing the divots and just everything possible.
Definitely. It's classic.
Okay, Sabrina. That is definitely a timeless one as well. Kind of gives a little Audrey Hepburn vibes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Just that very timeless black dress, sleek look.
Next on the list, Lorelei Lee from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, the iconic pink dress.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, next year is Marilyn Monroe's 100th birthday.
I did not know that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to celebrate. We're going to do a whole podcast on her. I just love her.
Nice.
Pink in Maryland.
Yes.
Love it.
Oh, the fashion icon for sure.
Carrie Bradshaw. I mean, come on. Just her closet, the show, everything she wears, even now. I haven't seen all of the newer show, but the style is iconic. Love it.
Well, and that's what her fashion is often dissected because she has some incredible wins and then she has some that it's like, why is your bra strap hanging out?
I think that's the whole taking risks in fashion. You know, sometimes it's just out of the top crazy, and then other times it's, you know, fabulous.
The big oversized. Is that a bird? Yes, it's a bird. Okay, rounding out this list, Cleopatra, which we were just discussing. You've got the Elizabeth
Taylor.
Thank you. I'm like, Elizabeth Taylor. I love Elizabeth Taylor. Why could I forget her? Elizabeth Taylor, Cleopatra, but there's also a new Cleopatra coming out that sounds exciting. But Cleopatra was definitely the fashion icon. I mean, just the jewels, the very sleek look. I mean, that is something that I think every Halloween people are definitely replicating her with the jewels and
the hair,
the gold, the hair, everything, the makeup. Whether you're coming on this podcast because you want to be a Miranda Priestley, an Elle Woods, or a Cleopatra, this is going to be a fun episode. We have done episodes previously. We were talking about investing in clothes, investing in yourself, because that is important. Making sure you have good quality clothes, because you could spend the exact same amount of money buying a bunch of crap from random
Anywhere.
Online sites.
Yeah.
Shein.
Target.
Or you.
I like Target, but
Yep.
I mean, you know, you can get some clothes there that doesn't last.
Or you could buy one or two pieces for that same amount that are going to last, that are going to be, oh, let's switch it from day and night. I do have to throw, because I vividly remember when I was going off to college to be like, oh, get this dress and then you can switch it from day to night. And that was always the big thing of switching from day to night. And it's like, do not think this little like hoochie mama dress that I'm going to wear like during the day with a blazer, I'm going to take it off and then I'm going to go clubbing. Like,
Still not going to quite do it.
still not going to work.
No.
But okay, Estelle, this is your time to shine.
Oh my
Tell
goodness.
us about you, your story, and kind of what you do and how you got involved in it.
Sure. Well, I get the question a lot. How did you become an attorney and now you're a stylist? It's very confusing for a lot of people, and I get that. But for me, it was really about kind of my own evolution. So I practiced law for about 7 years, doing civil litigation, defense work, and a lot of employment law defense work, which I loved. And I really kind of had this style epiphany when I was practicing. Now, when I started practicing law, it was, you know, I was wearing the boxy suits, the oversized shoulder pads. I looked like I was wearing my dad's blazer. It just totally did not fit whatsoever. It was in the drab colors, you know, the grays, the blacks, very boring. I was not doing myself any favors. And I also looked really young. And so when I had my style not working for me, I looked about 12. I didn't get the gravitas that I had worked many years to achieve. And even 4 or 5 years into my practice, people still assumed that I was the court reporter when I went in to take a deposition.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I got asked, sweetie, can you get me coffee a lot? So I had that. Part of that's the South. But in any event, I remember very distinctly, it was probably my 5th year as an associate, I realized that I was having some trouble with my vision. And I'd never had any issues whatsoever. Even Byron was like, are you just now seeing the street sign? This is long before Waze and all of the technology we have now. And I was like, oh, yeah, I just now see that. And went to the doctor thinking, oh, well, whatever, and walked out with a pair of glasses for the first time. And then I realized you actually could see the leaves on the trees, which apparently had become a blur. But I will never forget walking into my law firm the first day that I had glasses on, and there was just this shift. The way the partners looked at me, it was no longer, I mean, it was almost like I had kind of earned this gravitas, and I had done nothing except put on a pair of glasses. I had not changed my wardrobe, had not changed my hairstyle. It was just a pair of glasses. And I also noticed it with clients who used to maybe look at me like, I'm not really sure she's really going to represent me because I looked so young, or even court, being in the court and the judges, opposing counsel, all that. And so I started to see that the way people perceived me changed. And finally, I was getting some recognition for my years of experience. And it was that one small shift that did it. And so that's really kind of when I started to have this light bulb moment of, wait a minute, there's something to this. And it's a lot more than just style and clothes. So that was kind of like my epiphany. Now, I didn't do anything about it at that point, but it was one of those kind of moments in my life. For me, when style kind of got into my mind, was I just fell in love with a brand. I don't know if you guys have heard of Cabby.
Yep.
Okay. So I found this brand. At this point, I think it was before I had my youngest son. So I had 2 boys. I had already left the practice, but I was still professional. I was working as a legal recruiter. And I just kind of fell in love with the clothes. And I remembered why I used to love clothes. But law school kind of beat all the creativity out of me. There was none. And I was told, black, boxy, that's what you wear.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I felt like I could express myself again and have fun with clothes. And I also appreciated that the Cabby line fit a woman's figure. It wasn't these, things that were cut for, a prepubescent teen that I was finding in the stores. And, after kids, we could go on and on about how I'm just a firm believer in finding clothes that fit your body shape, because your body shape changes with so many things. That's a hormonal thing over a woman's life. And it's, we end up blaming ourselves. And I'm really passionate about, no, it's just that your body's changed, and let's find the right silhouettes. But anyway, the thing I love so much about Cabby is I felt like it really fit well. It had a lot of variety. It was fun. It was a little bit edgy, but still had some classic pieces. And so really kind of how I got into it is I loved the clothes. And the woman who was the stylist went out of town. She left. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to become a Cabby stylist. I mean, that literally was how I kind of fell into it. I was like, well, I need my clothes. And but then it became so much more. So when I became a Cabby stylist, and this was doing this on the side, but I just started to see more and more of my friends were coming to me, and they were really struggling with finding clothes that fit well, that made them feel like themselves. And it started becoming so much more than the actual clothes. And I noticed that women didn't know how to dress their body shapes. Yeah. And that was really a struggle. And so it was kind of during that point that I started to think, this is something, that I hadn't really thought about, but I think it's really important, especially for female lawyers. Yeah. And so that kind of started this whole spark. And I quit Cabby because I felt like I was cheating on Cabby when I'd recommend other brands. So I was like, I can't do that. So I just went down as a lawyer. I had to take all the certifications. I mean, literally, I think I've taken every personal style course that I could find.
Oh, wow.
Got to get your degree. It's so silly. Yep. Look back at it now. But
you want to be credible. You want to be taken seriously.
I got to get my creds.
Yeah.
So, and so I started doing it just a little bit on the side, and I'd never had an entrepreneurial bone in my body. I mean, never, but then I started developing one over time. And so anyway, I guess about a little bit over 2 years ago, I just went all in on my business. And so I've been doing that since. So I just only work with female attorneys, and I help them just create a style they love and take away all of the decision fatigue that women have in the morning of what in the world do I wear?
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. It's one of the things when people come to us to talk about finances, it is really raw. It's really personal. Mm-hmm. And people are very vulnerable when they do it. But I also could see the same thing with females, because
true,
we do immediately go into embarrassment mode. And it's like, oh, I know I've gained weight, or I know, my body's changed after kids, or I've lost weight and I don't know how to dress anymore. Yeah. But it changes so much. And we all have those clothes hanging in the closet that don't fit.
The dream stealers is what I call them.
And that is just taking up space. Yeah. And we've got all these different things. But it's true how you present yourself, because if you're uncomfortable in what you're wearing, you're constantly going to be picking
you're
and
shifting
pulling
in your seat, you're adjusting, and you're taking focus away from what you're saying. Because when you're physically doing that, then people are looking at you moving and not listening to you.
Yeah. And that's what I know over the years, like when I've worn something that's very bold or outlandish, you have to just own it.
Yes.
Because if
absolutely.
You let there be an ounce of you feel like you may be a little uncomfortable, then people are going to like gravitate towards that and pull it out.
Yeah.
But if you're like, no, I look fabulous, I have a bird in my head, it's fine. We're good.
You all wish you had a bird in your head.
Exactly. But no, that's so much fun. And I've got a good friend who, her and I grew up together, preschool on, and she is an attorney. And it's so funny because we're both pink girls. We love pink. We love
pink too.
sparkles. And she's like, yeah, you've got to have fun with it. I think Elle Woods really helped with a lot of that, because you can be professional, but you can also have color. You can have fun.
Yes.
But it is, your clothes speak for your how you are presenting yourself, that if you're trying to be taken seriously, you've got to ride that line between not jokesterish. And I remember when I was working nonprofit work, I had one of the board members, they were putting me up to then have a higher position within the company. They said, well, I think you got to quit wearing those costumes when you go and promote the organization. And I said, well, when I go and present to the organization as a fundraiser, I said, I'm wearing those costumes because that's getting them excited. That's getting them rallied up.
Right.
Now, when I'm sitting across from the CEO asking for money, I'm not going to wear those costumes. I'm going to wear something presentable. I'm going to look the part. I said, but there's two sides to me. So I'm not going to not do one thing just to do the other.
Definitely.
So, obviously, how would someone get started if they wanted to get your services?
Yeah. So what they could do is just book a call with me. So I've got a link on my website.
Okay.
And really...
Go ahead and give us that website.
Oh, sure. It's just EstelleWinsett.com.
Perfect.
And there's a link on there to book a call. I also have some freebies if anyone's interested in that. But really what involves is just a 20-minute call with me. And there's a little bit of a few questions they can answer before they set up the time on my calendar. But really, my hope is just to help women who are struggling figure out where are you struggling and why. And if this is something that I can help them with, then I just kind of walk them through my service, which is a one-on-one virtual style service. It's a 3-month process. Okay. And it's an intentional process that I created that helps a woman not just settle for whatever is at the closest store or whatever is good enough. It's like, no, we're going to build something that lights you up, that works for your body shape, that has colors that make you glow and not make you look washed out. And it's going to be very intentional. So it's not just shopping when you get an invitation to a crazy event and you've got to go run out and get something, which is how we do it, right?
Oh,
I used to, for sure. I still from time to time do it.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and women always say, why do I have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear?
Yep.
It's because we just haven't taken the time to build an intentional wardrobe, which if you weren't a stylist, why would you? It's just not, you're busy, you're working, you have kids.
Yeah.
But when you do actually, work with me, we just very intentionally build a wardrobe that fits your lifestyle. So, I figure out your style blueprint, which I just kind of went over. But then it's like, what are the occasions you need to dress for on a regular basis? We understand that you have event stuff, and that's fine, but you need to dress for the everyday, and so that you're not wearing the same 3 outfits on repeat that you hate. So that's a big part of it. And so once I kind of know the 2 or 3 different, categories of looks, usually it's, business casual for the office, and maybe sometimes there are speakers and they need some more elevated looks, or they might need a weekend look, whatever works for them. Then I kind of reverse engineer it and say, okay, if these are the types of events you need to dress for, then this is the foundation you need in your closet. And then I'll be able to mix and match it in a variety of ways to help you find outfits for these different occasions so you don't have to think about it again.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that everyone's busy and you don't want to have to think about it. You go, oh, I know I can put this together. I can put that together.
Right. It's the mental fatigue in the morning, especially if you're wading through stuff that doesn't fit you anymore. You pull it out, you're like, oh, that doesn't fit. Then you pull something out, like, oh, that has a coffee stain. And literally you've gone and made like 8 decisions and you haven't even found an outfit that works, and that drains you.
That literally was me this morning. My husband and I are trying to get ready real quick, and Nanny's come in, and I could feel him behind me looking at me as I'm looking at my closet. And he's like, what are you doing? I said, I don't know what to wear. And he's like, you have all these clothes. I said, yeah, but me pre-babies, I said, I dressed up, and I said, It took effort to put on the dress, and I love it. I said, but right now, I'm nursing. So like my body is not what I want it to be right now. So I don't have those more comfortable, cute, dressy, casual stuff, because I've never filled that. I've always been the dress girl. I've never been the comfy, casual girl.
Yeah.
So that's an area I'm seeing now, like, okay, I can't avoid it. That's going to be me for a little while longer. I need to feel that.
And you know what? The thing is, you've got to feel good at any moment. And I always tell people, it makes me so sad, and I can relate to this because I used to do it too, but it makes me so sad when women say, well, when I lose the 10 pounds, and you got to live life now, and you have events to go to now, and why punish yourself? I mean, you get to, and you deserve to feel great at any figure, any shape. And that's just about self-care, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I saw something recently that said, we all will go into the store and we'll grab the size that we want to be instead of the size that we are, or even bigger.
Yeah.
Because we'll make ourselves feel so much better if we grab the size we think that's a little bit bigger. Be like, yeah, let me try that. And then when it is a little bit big, it's like, oh, confidence boost.
Yeah.
Versus we go and grab the size we want to be and it doesn't fit. And then we're instantly in a bad mood.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's basically your wardrobe is telling you you're too big.
Yeah.
If everything in there is too small. And who wants that in the morning? Ever, really. But especially not first thing in the morning. And then you have toddlers or kids pulling for your attention. Mine could never find a shoe. I don't know if you've had that, but yours probably quite aren't,
not yet.
old enough. But it was always like, why one shoe missing? Why? I would literally go running around the house. And that was my morning. And then you would like, please just let me get to school before the carpool line shuts down. Please let me get there. And then you get there and you're like, I got to walk them in. And it's like you're wearing something you don't feel good in. You're annoyed and you're having to check your child in late. What's your excuse? I don't really have one. So that's frustrating.
So I know Nicole's put together some questions, but I've got some that are just popping in my head. So I'm going to go.
Please feel free to.
So I am a victim for sure of I hold on to like everything possible because style repeats itself. So I don't want to get rid of, this and all of a sudden it's back in style. But then that turns into a junked up closet.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, you're not alone. A lot of women feel that same way. What if I need to wear this Halloween costume again because I get the perfect invitation 10 years from now?
I was say, Nicole's over here pointing at me. I repurpose stuff all the time.
Well, and no shade in that. But what I always tell people is whatever your closet is that you use to get dressed in the morning for your day-to-day life, it needs to be devoid of things, or at least not in the front of the closet, that aren't things you wear on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I mean, the ball gowns, put it in the back or in a totally different closet. If it's Halloween costumes, they can go in a box under the bed, and so it's just about make sure that the space you're walking into in the morning is clothes that fit you well so you can grab it, know it's going to work and not feel bad about yourself. And in terms of styles, I agree with you. There are certain things are timeless. My view on trends is if you like something, get it. But sometimes it may come back again, but inevitably there's something slightly different about it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, not quite they've changed some little tweaks, some little element about it. Not that you can't still wear it, but I always think, if you really love something that's trendy, you can always get it again. But if it doesn't come up again, then, you have space now to walk into your closet.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But it's a mental, we are an emotional thing, I think, too. I think women, we just attach to our clothes and the memories that we have from them.
Huge memory. I had my Aunt Virginia, I loved walking into her closet and it was fabulous, like blazers. But she would pin a note in the pocket of every outfit for the last time she wore it.
Wow.
So then she would go, like if she was going to like a ladies' luncheon, she'd pull an outfit and be like, oh, wait, I wore that to this one and this. And it was amazing. I thought it was fantastic of how she knew exactly where she wore it. But I have shoes, I keep all my shoes in my shoe boxes.
Yeah.
I have some of them labeled of like, this was speakeasy shoes. This was this person's wedding.
Yeah.
And so if somebody walked in my closet, they'd be like, what is that? I'm like, oh, those are the floral ones. But I'd remember them from an event.
Yeah.
But then my problem is I'll buy a dress and it's like, oh, for this event. And then I'll never wear it again because it was for that event.
Right. Well, or even worse, and I've been guilty of this, buying something because you literally have something in, 5 hours. And so you get something that's okay, but you don't love it. Mm-hmm. So then you don't wear it because you don't like it. You wore it for the event and you probably felt uncomfortable in it because you didn't love it.
Yep.
But we put it back in the closet instead of just donating it, getting rid of it. And, that's I think, where we can really struggle is having those pieces that we don't even really like that much.
It's never fit right, but it's like one day maybe it will.
Right.
It's like, no.
Right. And so then it just kind of it haunts you in the morning and or taunts you in the morning because it doesn't work. And it just takes up what I call precious real estate in your closet.
Yeah, that's true. So one of the questions that Nicole put, what does signature style really mean?
I think of signature style as what is it that makes you unique and memorable? And everyone is different. For me, I love glasses. That was my thing. And so, I like to get a new pair of glasses every year. And I like kind of the cat eye style and just like kind of eclectic look. And
They're fabulous. I love them.
Thank you. They're Francis Klein. It's my favorite brand. But then I also love color. Like I used to be an all black girl, and now I like wear a lot more color. And so I think for me, it's like bold colors, my glasses, and I also love an animal print. I mean, I think animal prints are neutrals. So that's probably another thing that's part of my signature style. But it could be a variety of things too, whether it's an accessory that you wear, it could be a color that you wear. But it's something that if someone were to describe you, it would come to mind and it would be something unique. And I always tell my clients, you want that, especially if you're networking, because if you go to a conference, you're going to be in a sea of black and navy.
Yep.
There's actually a pretty low bar to stand out. But when you do that and you show up consistently that way, then it builds know, like, and trust. And that actually helps you with your relationships and business development. So that's what I think of. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, and I've since learned that this is not a new thing. This has been around for a long time, but the whole color wheel thing of like everybody going and, what is your color palette?
Yeah. Yeah. As I've gotten older, I will say that I feel like there's a little bit less pigment in my face and my coloring. And so when I do wear colors close to my face that are in my color palette, I notice that I feel better. I feel like there's that kind of a glow, or like if you're on a Zoom, it's like virtual Botox. So for me, I think that what you wear closest to your face, it can really help if you wear something that is flattering towards you. But I also don't live and die by it. I like to know what the rule is, but then I also sometimes like to break it. So,
oh yeah,
if you know what I mean. So, I think it's a helpful tool, and it's part of my process when I work with my clients. I do an analysis of their colors and give them all of their swatches, and so they have that in the report. And again, it's helpful for what you wear up top. But at the same time, if you love something and it's not in your color palette, wear it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that, there's a time and place and you can be really rigid. Now, if I were giving a big presentation that was super important and I was really trying to wow people, I would wear something that was in my color just because I would feel more confident.
Yeah, absolutely. Time and place. And
yeah.
And it changes so much because I know I've gone from bright blonde to more of a dirty blonde to red.
Makes a difference.
That makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. And just how, when I was more redheaded, the things that I wore when I was bright blonde, it was totally different.
It's true. It's about the contrast really between your skin coloring and your hair. That really makes a big difference. So like if you go gray, then you're going to have a different color palette than what you used to wear.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So it's just kind of being aware. And I think one of those is just like with financial planning, you kind of still got to nurture it. You still need to take care of it. And it's not just a set it and leave. Your fashion's the same way.
Absolutely.
And I think that a lot of times what people may be scared to ask for advice or ask questions is we all picture the what not to wear kind of things like that, where it's like, you look fabulous. Yes. And it's like, why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing that? Yeah. And of course, I did see recently that I loved that show, What Not to Wear, but they came out with a new one and I can't remember the name of it, but it's the same host, the guy and the girl.
Stacey London. Okay.
Yes. But they are like very passive of like, oh, it's wear what you love. And I'm like, excuse me.
It's a totally different vibe.
Yeah. It's like, where were you? Were like, no, don't wear this. So can we not just do like a married of a middle ground here?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are blinded by it. And a lot of times it is a story of somebody lost a bunch of weight or something has changed and they haven't found their spark back. And, I'm still waiting for that whole after babies. Everybody says when you find your pink back, like I'm ready for that. I'm ready to get to that point where I do. And I think that some of my coworkers will see that because I have been dressing frumpier because I just don't feel comfortable in my skin. And that's what I can't wait until my body gets back to where I was pre-baby. I've got to kind of do something in the interim because it's no point in being unhappy until I can get into those clothes.
Definitely. And the thing about style is really, it's about, I feel like it's kind of like, not smoke and mirrors, but it's all about kind of how you're tricking the eye. So if you don't want someone to look at a certain body part, then there's a way to distract them to look somewhere else, So for example, if you are someone who carries weight in your lower half, then wear something dark on the lower half and then something bold and bright up top so that draws the eye up to the area that you want to showcase. And so there are a lot of tricks and tools about how you can style yourself that can make you feel better. And really, I always tell people the goal is visual balance. And so, you always hear the Marilyn Monroe hourglass shape. Yeah. Only 8% of women actually have an hourglass shape. I definitely have worked with them. And there's no body shape that is better than others because people who with an hourglass shape still have to make sure they show their waist because otherwise then they look boxy. And so every every body shape has a challenge and then an asset, and it's all about just how do you work with what you have and feel the best in what you're wearing. Yeah. And so what you're trying to do is create a visual hourglass when you're trying to style your body shape. And so that you can use fabrics, you can use shiny fabrics, add visual volume, or you want to add visual volume, things that aren't shiny, take it away, or dark colors. And so it's really all about understanding how can I find clothes and manipulate the feel of a balanced body shape, and you're going to feel better.
Yeah. I think that this newer generation coming up is really helping a lot with body positivity that, because it's still, although now we're in the huge Ozempic craze where all the celebrities are, so we're back in that cycle again where everybody's stick skinny.
Well, that was me when I had my first baby at the same time that Denise Richards did, and she was wearing a bikini 6 weeks after hers. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, there was no bounce back. First of all, I think that's just a BS term, because what does that mean?
Yeah.
Back. It's like, no, you're going forward and you're going to find your best you. And that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes women make when they're trying to define their style?
Well, one that I see a lot is relying on things like style subscriptions. And the reason I think that, well, there are a variety of reasons, but when it comes to your style, where I think it can be really tricky is usually with those subscription boxes, they're kind of promoting a certain type of clothes. Either they're trying to get offload some particular garment, or they just have a lot of something they're trying to promote it. Well, some month you may get like a very classic box of pieces that are timeless, and then the next month you might get something that's more edgy. And if you're just wearing what's in the box, then you're a style chameleon. Like, no one knows what to expect from you.
Yeah.
And then you're eroding that know, like, and trust factor.
Yeah. I've used Stitch Fix a couple of times off and on, and I've gotten some pieces I like, but it's been very much like next time they bring, I'm like, how does that even go with what I picked out of these other things? Because it's like there was a brand of dresses that I really liked. They looked really nice. They fit well on me. They kind of had a wrap component to it, so it kind of hit the midsection. Loved it and ended up buying more of that same brand through Stitch Fix. So they saw that, and then the next thing they're sending me is some stuff, and I'm like, since when I said I am long bodied, I am not wearing those little bodysuit things. Like, what are you thinking here? Yeah. And so I sent the whole thing back, and then the next month they sit. I'm like, okay, no, we're done. You don't know me.
Right. Well, it's because it's either done by an algorithm or it's done quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas they're not necessarily, and I always say it can maybe give you an outfit or a piece. Yeah. But it's not holistically thinking of your closet and what you need and filling any gaps that you have. It's just throwing spaghetti at the wall. Yeah. And you might find some cute stuff, but it may not pair back to anything else you own.
Yeah. You do better doing your own search of like, I'm needing something in this capacity. Yeah. You're working with somebody like you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I actually do one of those boxes.
Oh, tell me more.
It's Newly.
Okay.
And you get to pick out 6 items a month. So you pick what you get. And it's a lot of nicer clothes, like from Anthropologie and Madewell and things like that. And you can buy it if you really like it. And I have found I really like it because we have so many events at Pickler.
So is that a renting thing?
It's renting, but you pick what you want to rent and then you send it back every month.
See, I've always wanted to do one of those, like, not project, what is it? Rent the Runway? Yeah. Like, I've looked at some of that stuff, but then what always stresses me, and this is just how I am, it only shows up a couple of days before. Like, what if I absolutely hate it?
Or if it doesn't fit.
If it doesn't fit. And I know you get, like, between 2 sizes, but still, it's like, how is this going to work? Because especially, like, nicer stuff, you could be in a 2, you could be in a 14. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
So, but you've had good success with it?
I love it. I kind of, at the beginning of the month, I think what events I have going on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this dress for this one, this dress for the other, and I get work sweaters or work shirts for the rest. Yeah. And I found success with it. But it's different.
So you don't get emotionally attached? Like, I get emotionally attached to clothes.
No. Well, it depends on the clothes, I guess. I still have my prom dress, but that's different.
I think it also depends on your style know-how, because I did a test. I did Rent the Runway because I wanted to see from the consumer perspective what it was. And for me, I mean, you still had to look at, it was only what was available in your size at the time. Uh-huh. It didn't solve how do I put an outfit together, because you still had to put your own outfits together. So if you're savvy enough to know, okay, this goes with that and that makes sense, then, And I think I think where it's the most beneficial is when you have to go to something that is not a regular event in your life. Like if I had a wedding, like even for one of my photos when I was in Paris, I got this beautiful gown because I don't walk around wearing gowns all the time, right? So I actually did get that from Rhythm Right. It was during my experiment phase, and it was great. I loved it. But I think if you're doing it for everyday wear, if you are doing the shopping on your own, you can usually find something on sale that's new, that's not pre-worn, and you end up saving money in the long term because when you end up taking into account what you pay monthly plus what you pay to keep something, it's much more than it would have cost just to buy it outright.
Yeah.
But again, if you're using it, people have different opinions. And so I think whatever works for you is great. But I think if you're trying to build an intentional everyday wardrobe, doing it on your own is in the long term going to be more, cost per wear and the ROI on what you spend because you're not having to spend something each month.
Absolutely. And it's right. You're knowing your lifestyle. Because I think about, going to conference, then, Court and David were able to bring kind of they brought a couple of slacks, they brought some jackets, and they were able to mix and match. Mm-hmm. And so as a female, it's kind of, okay, what can I take where I'm not having to bring 6 different outfits? What can I bring that I can mix and match, but it doesn't look like you wore that yesterday?
Absolutely. And I do that for my clients all the time because my VIP clients, I literally pack for them. They give me it's all virtual. They give me their agenda and I create a packing list in their closet. And I'm like, this is what you wear for the opening reception. This is what you wear in the morning. Then you switch out these shoes and that. And this is evening. And then I just do it all for them. But it's when you have the right pieces. No one's going to know if you wore the same pair of black pants. But if you style it completely differently with a more statement piece, or you put accessories like scarves or other details, you really can make things look different. And then you don't have to bring your entire closet.
Yeah. And that's what I love about it is you can take an outfit that is on the rack, but then if you accessorize it differently, style it differently, then it looks totally different. So even if I hate very much seeing myself. Like if I am wearing the same outfit as somebody else and I'm like, oh, well, we both styled it the exact same way. Like that's why I feel like when you get those dresses that may be from a Target or something like that everybody's going to have, how can you add your own little spin to it?
Make it a little different and own it. Yeah. I agree.
Perfect. So this question says, is black always the safest color?
Oh, I would say no. First of all, black doesn't look good on everyone. I'm one of the few. This is one of the most annoying things I found out when I learned about color analysis. Is black doesn't look good on me. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. But so it can wash out a lot of people. It does for me. But the other thing about it is it can make you blend into the background. You're not going to be often making a statement if you're at a conference or going somewhere and you're wearing all black. That being said, I do have clients who like more of a minimalist look, and you can actually have a striking look. Especially if you have something that fits your body really well. If you have different fabrics, you can kind of play with variety and like different fabrics. And so there's certainly, this is not a should never wear black kind of thing. It really depends on your style aesthetic. But I think people default to that and it may not be the best thing for them.
Black always seems to be, it's slimming, it's professional. It's, I don't know what to wear. I'm going to throw a black dress on, which is kind of goes to the little black dress, that whole philosophy. But okay, we are a financial podcast. Let's talk about the numbers because as I'm hearing this, it's like, oh, okay. So is Estelle going to come in and tell I need to dump my entire closet? Am I going to have to shell out a ton of money? Like what are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, most of the women that come to me are ready for a reboot. Okay. They pretty much want to set their closet on fire. So they usually are coming to me because they're wanting to reimagine who they are. Maybe they've started a new job and it's the perfect time to establish their new style identity that goes with their authority, that no one has a preconceived notion of them. But whatever the case is, when you're starting a new style, and the way I walk my clients through it is you want to start to see if you could have any style in the world, what would it be? No limitations. And that's really on what are you gravitating towards now? Our style evolves over time like we do. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times as women, we used to be in style when we were younger, but then we get older and we get busy. And style just becomes a whatever, or that's good enough. And we kind of forget to tap into our desires about what do we like? What is something that just when we see it, it just feels really good and authentic. And so I think it's about finding that. And then, so that's kind of how I work with Pinterest with my clients to do that. But then it's about your body shape. So you may have some pieces in your closet that are perfectly fine pieces, but they aren't super flattering to you. Whereas you could have the same skirt with a different silhouette. You might really love it because it's going to be really flattering. Or you may have some that are perfect. So the way I kind of work through my clients is we kind of figure out what's the best thing for you in terms of clothes, and then those categories, and I create a shopping list. So that's like my foundation. And when I get to the shopping list, I always tell my clients, now listen, if you have anything on this list that's in your closet that's in good shape, that fits you well, let me know, take a photo of it, we'll put it in the closet, and we don't have to shop for that. Because there's no need to buy something that you already have that's in good condition. But I think it's the when you hold on to things that either don't fit you well or that aren't really in this new style aesthetic that you're trying to go for, that it can hold you back sometimes. Yeah. So that's kind of how I work with my clients on that.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Nicole, you got some questions?
Yeah, what you got?
We're in the financial part, Katie. I thought you were taking the financial
Well,
questions.
I've been talking a lot, so I was going to let you start with questions.
I'm enamored with you two. I will say this is not a financial question.
Yeah.
Now she's talking about black. Now I see a lot of neutrals like chocolate browns.
Yeah, brown is really big right now.
I'm obsessed with the browns and the neutral colors.
I like them too.
It looks really put together to me.
Yeah, see, brown I'm starting to dabble with a lot more because I used to not be a brown girl, and I just because it was black. It's funny, most people when they talk about me, they mention pink, and I looked at my wardrobe probably a couple years ago and was like, I really didn't have any pink. I accessorized with pink. I would have the pink phone or the pink purse or things like that, but I never wore pink. And then it was a couple years ago, I was like, I'm going to start wearing pink again. And then when I would wear pink or bright blue, then I'd get lots of compliments. And I'm like, okay, I need to start wearing brights again. I love that. So I think that is often, we all fall into different traps. If somebody compliments you on one thing, then it's like, oh, you want to buy everything that color.
Yeah.
But that's going too far at extreme. You've got to have that balance.
Yeah. So when I'm working with my clients, when I get to that part of creating the foundation, it's really about having the right amount of neutral pieces and the right amount of things in your colors or fun statement pieces. Because when you do that, then if you have all statement pieces, then it's hard to make an outfit, And so it's just like this intentional process that I go through of you need a certain number of neutrals because that's how you can extend the life of a jacket. If you have a lot of different neutrals to wear under it, then it makes different looks. And same thing with bottoms and things like that. But then you also want to have your personality in it. And so that kind of depends on the person's style preferences. Do they like to wear jewelry? Like I was just talking to a client earlier today and she was very minimalist. And she's like, my jewelry is similar. I just don't like big jewelry. I like things very small. And that's just and so that was her kind of style aesthetic. So some of it depends on that. But accessories are a great way. And actually, accessories are a fun way to kind of dip your toe in the water of a new style. Like let's say you're wanting to try something out. It doesn't cost as much. You can get some earrings. You can get a fun pair of shoes in a color, a pop of color, and just see how you feel. Maybe get some animal print shoes.
Yeah.
Those out. See if those are fun for you. And so it's things like that you can start branching out slowly and then kind of see how do you feel? Like that's really the most important question. How do you feel in your outfit? Do you feel good? Do you feel authentic? Do you feel excited? Because that's really going to translate into your energy and how you show up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned Zoom. That's something that I've really been focusing on lately. Because of COVID, a lot of communication is happening online. A lot of it's being on Teams, Zoom. I'll catch myself and it's like, I know I've got a cute outfit on, but then all they're seeing is from, chest
that one little square.
Up. Yeah. And it's like, well, you think I'm just wearing a black top, but really I've got this fun skirt. I've got this fun look, but you're not seeing it. You're just seeing, oh, here's Katie again with the black top on.
Yeah.
So that's a different perspective that really kind of looking at what is your persona online if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I always tell people, do a mock run, do your own Zoom, record yourself, and then go back and watch it. What do you see? And then you can try different accessories on. Does that look better? The key is to have something that brings in personality, but that isn't distracting.
Yes.
And so, if you have dangly jewelry that every time you turn, it's going to make a lot of noise, that's going to be distracting. One of the best tips I love telling people about is your necklines. So depending on what you're wearing on the neckline, you want to fill negative space. So like right now I have kind of a V and then I have a necklace that fits inside it. So it's not fighting with my clothes. It's filling the space and adding interest. And so that's just a great way to think about it when you're, and just whatever you're wearing. If you're wearing your hair up, then you can fill negative space by putting on earrings, and so it's about find those places where you can add little accents that aren't overpowering, but that bring in that personality, and it completes the picture, it completes the frame when you're thoughtful about jewelry.
You probably know what it is, but there's something I always remember that was in the back of my head. It's like the 3 areas. There's like your hair, your makeup, your outfit. And like if one of them is lacking, then you need to make sure the other 2 are on par. And so kind of like this morning, I was like, okay, I need to at least throw some curls in my hair. I need to get some makeup on because I know my outfit's just going to be throw something on real quick.
Yeah. Well, I love accessories. They're just how I express myself. And I think it's super fun. And I think it's especially fun as a professional woman to be able to play with certain things so that you're not going crazy, but it's those little details that make you feel like yourself in a professional environment.
See, I have such fun accessories in my closet, but then I thought like everybody, and maybe I'm around some of this younger generation, Nicole, that all like just very simple. And I'm like, oh, well, I got some fun chunky necklaces.
Oh, listen, I love a chunky necklace, and I love statement earrings.
Oh, so okay, so then
bright
good.
colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Estelle said I can do it. I got it.
I'm wearing kind of a non statement necklace, but that's because my jacket's got so much personality. I just don't want to be too much in your face.
Yeah.
So,
I love statement earrings. I hate bracelets. I don't know. Do you see this a lot with because a lot of people are typing,
yes,
clacking. I hate them.
Yeah, I can't. I don't say for that reason because I'm at my computer all day, and I find it distracting. It's just like the way my hand rests on the keyboard. It's uncomfortable. But yeah, so everyone has their little idiosyncrasies. And so that's what I'm really, when I work with my clients, I'm like, listen, and there's no reason to apologize for any of it. It's just what your preference is. And gosh, can we talk about the heels and how the whole world has said no more heels after the pandemic? And that's okay. That's what you want.
See, it's great for me in the fact that like right now, obviously I'm still not back in heels post babies. I did wear heels, I think the other day, and I was like, oh, this has been a minute. I got to build myself back up to it. But
I build those muscles back.
I'm a heel girl. Like I had a knee surgery and told my physical therapist, I said, my goal is that I've got to be able to walk back in heels again. He's like, haha. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. And so I brought my heels to physical therapy with me.
Love it.
Because I love it. We talked about Carrie Bradshaw, Sarah Jessica Parker. She closed her shoe company, but I have almost all of those heels that she did. I love them.
Yeah.
And that really was kind of my statement. I always wore heels all the time. And so it's such a shift for me to see my little cousins that are at, Ole Miss and Alabama, and they're going to these dances and they're wearing flats. They're wearing sneakers.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we're wearing sneakers. So now I've branched into, we wear, the Nikes. We wear stuff like that. We wear the fun sneakers. And it's just so odd to me that following the different trends. But some of them, I think it's you embrace them. Others, it's if you stick to your truth, stick to who you are.
Absolutely. And for me, I still do love heels for certain things. I go for the block heel because it's a lot more comfortable. I like a little height, which is really funny because my husband is a couple inches taller than me. So I'm either a little shorter, I love her, or I'm taller. It's never like the same thing. So, and he doesn't care, which is great. He's not intimidated by my tall heels when I feel like wearing them.
Well, that's what I think. I like heels because it makes me feel put together. It makes me feel confident and like I, hold myself up. I have noticed I've gotten better about it, but when I would wear flats with a dress, I feel less dressed.
Yeah. Well, they've come a long way. I think flats used to be just the ballet flats, and now they've got a few different silhouettes. You could do the animal print. One of my favorites is Rothy's.
Rothy's are great.
I love Rothy's.
Yeah, and they're washable, and they're fun and bold colors and slightly different shapes and silhouettes. And so I definitely think flats have come a long way. Or even just the kitten heel, if you want like a little bit of a heel. But again, I also like a little bit of height, and so I'm fine with the block heels. They don't hurt my feet, but I can't do the stiletto anymore. Yeah. That just doesn't work for me.
Love it. Okay, white pants after Labor Day. Is that a thing still?
Wear your white pants all year round. I do. I say that's ridiculous.
So, for the most part, a lot of those fashion trends, because it used to be no brown and black together. Now that happens all the time.
Totally wear them together. Yeah.
What are some of the other ones?
Almost everyone has said no yellow. I think probably every woman's mom has told her not to wear yellow. You can wear yellow.
I'd say, yeah. I think in our promo pictures for Bullcast, I'm in yellow.
Yeah.
Yes. And you see a lot of mixing of the patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trick with pattern mixing is to be in the same color family, and you only want one pattern to be the star. So if you have two patterns, one of them needs to be less prominent than the other. If you got two that are bold prints, it's just going to be really hard to work together.
Perfect.
So pick one that is more prominent.
And Katie has her thing with the shoes, like that's her staple. I love a good handbag.
Ooh, I love handbags too.
How do you style an outfit? Like, do you get the handbags too, or is that or do you have like a good work tote, or how does that go?
Yeah, so it really depends on the client. They'll just, when we get to the shopping list, I always say, "Are you good with handbags? Do you need any?" A VIP client, a perk they have is just they could just let me know when they have an event, and so just a couple of days ago, one of my clients was like, "I need to go to this white and silver party and formal, gowns." And so I looked it up because I really hadn't heard of white and silver, but basically it's just white formal, but you can have a hint of silver, whether that's with accessories or shoes. So she already had some cute strappy silver sandals I'd gotten her that had some, diamonds in them or, that kind of thing. So they were fun. But I found her a nice handbag to go with it, to kind of go with the theme. So some people like to do it for events and kind of making sure that it fits the theme. But also, if you want handbags, sometimes I definitely help people with laptops, and it kind of depends on how big is your laptop, because I have a big MacBook Pro, and those are harder to fit in your standard laptop bags. And so, it kind of depends on your preferences. The one I have has a zipper and it's bigger. So, but it also kind of depends on your style aesthetic. So really, when I'm doing the list, I'm asking, do you need this? Do you need shoes? Do you need accessories? And once I know what she likes, then that's what I go shop for.
Well, it's the details, because you put all this time, working with someone like you to put this outfit together, and then all of a sudden it's cold and you grab your like puffer jacket that is like orange and you're in this stylish outfit. Like you've got to have the nice jacket on hand. You've got to have those different things, because you can completely ruin a whole outfit, and then nobody's focused on their great outfit. It's just like, you didn't have a better jacket.
Right. Right. And it really throws people off if they are in a warm climate. So I have a client that's in California, but every now and then she has to travel to Boston or something in the winter, and she don't have a winter coat, but she needs to be dressed up. So it also depends on your lifestyle for work. Are you having to travel to places that are colder?
Yeah. Or here in Memphis, where it's,
Who knows?
all of a sudden we're in, it's freezing outside, and the next day it's 70. You're like,
right.
That's my issue. Is like, I don't know how to dress during this time of year with Memphis. You have no idea.
You can't predict it. Yeah.
No, you're either sweating or you're freezing. So
yes.
Welcome to Memphis.
Yes.
We have talked for a good while. This has been so much fun. What other things do you want to leave with our listeners?
You are worthy of looking good now, regardless of where you are. That's a matter of self-care. And when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, your performance is better and you show up more powerfully. So I think that would be kind of my final words.
That is it. So in the podcast world, we call that our bullseye. So that is fabulous bullseye. I will bullseye it from the financial aspect of it. Of obviously, working with someone like Estelle, she's not telling you to just throw away your entire closet. She really is going to work with you, with your budget, what's going to be best. But it is investing in you, investing in yourself, because if you feel good, you've got your right attire, you're going to be respected in whatever your field is. And it's going to go leaps and bounds. That could be the difference of you getting that promotion or not, being taken seriously. And especially as a woman, that's a big deal, that you don't want them focusing on, oh, your, bag doesn't match with your outfit, things like that, because people will notice. So, Nicole, anything?
I'm going to write off what you said. And there's nothing better than when you feel good. And for example, we went to a communications award, and I had a beautiful dress on, and I just felt good about myself. And I was like, we're going to tackle the evening and we're going to win everything. And we basically did. So it makes you feel so much better about yourself. So.
100%.
Perfect. Well, Estelle, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I know Cam has not been on this episode, but I am pulling Cam in for this last part to do the ending. So he's going to give you the details on how to listen, how to get in touch with us. But thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Bullcast, the podcast. If you like what you heard and you'd like to find out more, please go to our website. That is bullcastpodcast.com. From there, you can browse all of your favorite episodes and download the podcast to just about any streaming platform out there. If you'd like to follow us on social media, boy, do we have the channels. We've got Facebook, Instagram, and X. Just search Bullcast Podcast on your favorite social media platform, and we will pop up. I'm not sure if the girls mentioned it on today's episode, but we work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you'd like to find out even more about our team and our boss, David Pickler, visit us at picklerwealthadvisors.com. That's advisors with an O, not an E. Thank you again for listening to today's show. See you next week.